Hello, in this video I want to cover reports. As you can see on the left side, if you just click on reports, it's going to open up this pivot table with basically no data loaded. Um, the first thing to really do in order to start working with this pivot table is to actually load in some data. So you can see here from this drop down we have all of the different activities, and we have regens, fuel breaks, and the full list of activities. So you can do planting activities or you can do all activities depending on what sort of a summary or whatever sort of data you're trying to pull out here. I think in this case let's just go with activities, and the data that it loads is per district. So same district that you have selected in your user settings, that's the data that you're going to be able to look at. Okay, so now you can see we have a total cost for that district, or I think I might have multiple districts right now. And so this is where you have to kind of make a decision as to what data you want to look at. I think in this case, let's just start kind of playing with it. Most importantly, we have column fields, row fields, and data fields. So data fields are going to essentially look like a column field, except for math will occur on a data field. So it makes most sense to use data fields with numeric fields like acres, for instance. So now you can see that it's being totaled, just like the total cost, the activity acres being utilized too. So right now I have 943,000 acres with a total cost of 53 million. If I add some columns in here, maybe we'll be able to understand what we're actually looking at. So let's put activity detail, or no, we want activity name. And so these are all just drag and drop. Um, in these sorts of views, when you don't really care about the map, it's really just nice to just get rid of that thing so we can see what we're looking at here. So now you can see all the different activities, totals, and activity acres per activity type, which is a lot of good information. Still don't have any actual filters made. So let me check what districts I actually have in here. So I'm just going to click on this little funnel here. And it looks like I have the Coast, Reading, and Weaverville. So I'm going to limit that, and we'll just look at Weaverville. And click OK. So it looks like we have grand total acres, grand total, activity acres 277. So now we're down to just looking at Weaverville, and you can see we have a filter applied now. The other way to do that, if you didn't want to just apply a filter, you can remove this filter, and then you could bring that district name over into a row field, and you could look at all three districts at the same time. I think in most cases folks are probably going to be just looking at one district, so I'm going to put that filter back on for Weaverville. So now we have Weaverville, still a lot of data going on here, so we could look at THP names in the row field. Of course, that's going to add all the THP names, so we can do a similar filter like we did on district and just use THP name that we're interested in. Let's see, something with a bunch. I think no, this is car. Just looking around here. It doesn't matter. Let's just, oh yeah, car fire. That has a lot going on. Okay, car fire. And you could do things with activity date, for instance. So we could limit this to 2021. And I think, this example may not be the best example, but it just kind of shows that I think what's really important here is to utilize this filter because just dragging these column headers into row and column fields is only going to get you so far. And it's also important to just see that you don't have to drag a column header into a row field to apply a filter. You can use this funnel for a filter, or you can come down to where the filter lives and you can modify the filter here with this button. So now you can see we have district name equal to Weaverville, car fire, same information that's shown here, but you could technically stay in here and press this button to add more. And so now you have access to all the column headers. So if you're interested in getting down to just one particular regen ID, you might start there. I think I'm going to just leave it there and keep this one kind of short. This is just meant to sort of show you how the general overview, just of how it generally does work, show you the power of making filters in here, just like in the rest of the application. And lastly, I'll just say that you can use your active regen units. So you can come in here and limit. I said earlier that you're limited to the district name. If you press show active regens, this will limit the report to only your active regen units. If you want to save a filter, if you've made some pivot table that is going to be something that you want to check weekly, you might save a pivot table layout and then you can just load it next time you come in. So as you complete activities in the field and that information is updated, you can kind of track your progress using pivot table. And if you have a pivot table that you're done with and you just want to use it in some sort of a report or email it to somebody, you can export it as an XLSX. And this button here I'm going to cover in another video. These are formatted reports, so similar to what you've seen in RMS2, it will spit out an Excel that's formatted in a way that you've seen before. So these have to do with RMS2. Okay, thank you.